Hello everybody and welcome back to FM 2020 with me, Davey1. In this episode, I'm going to quickly go through a couple of games. We only played 2 games from last episode because we started scoring goals. I'm going to show you the highlights of the actual goals because we haven't seen a goal yet this season, and I actually want you to see that on screen. So we'll do the highlights. First though, quickly, Jack Scott, new signing, on loan from Watford, striker. He looks fruity. He looks good. He looks like he can play football. He has physical stats. He can run. He has a good personality. He has determination. He has flair. He can do things. He can even pass a football, which is a bonus. You compare him to probably someone like Mooney, who is considered our best striker, quotation marks. He's better than Mooney. Don't whisper it quietly, boys. Whisper it quietly. We've just loaned in an 18-year-old who's on like 2.3 grand. We're all paying all of his wages, but I don't particularly care. If he can bang in some goals, that is great. We've just got him back up to match fit, so he'll be on the bench for today's game. Quickly, let's go show some actual highlights of the 2 matches that we did play. So, first up in this one, as you can see from the top of the screen, a 1-1 draw with Ipswich Town, in which we conceded off the kickoff. I'm not 100% sure how this happened, but in a few seconds' time, you're about to see Paul Smith, their right winger, bang in a goal for Ipswich. And at this point, after 5 games of not scoring a goal, I was like, oh god, this is going to be awful. Ipswich was 6th for the table at the time, and I thought we were going to get utterly battered. Something that we haven't been this year is battered. That was a nice little volley by them. But we did score, and it was the man, the only man. Who else would it be? Who else could it be? Of course, who else could it be but Keasley Mooney? That is good pressure from Carl McFarlane, and he nicks the ball off the defender, and then with a lovely little pass, he finds Mooney in the hole, who dispatches it with his right peg to score our first goal of the season. It was nearly 400 minutes of action in League One without a goal. Mooney saved us and barreled us out of a hole, that one. Next game was even better. We actually went and won this next game, so let's go show the goals in this one as well. 3-0 win over Walsall. First goal coming from a volley from Davis, our right wing back. Stunning volley going backwards. And our second goal come from our other wing back. Another great goal. This time from Kington on the half volley. What a perler of a finish that is. And a 2-0 victory for Walsall put us in a great mood. And I was pumped, and that is why I'm back early. Because I feel like we're scoring goals. We might actually win a game. Now, quickly, 2 tactics. We have made a couple of little tweaks. Mainly in player roles. So Carl McFarlane is now no longer a pressing forward. He's a deep line forward support. Deep line forward supports, they come a little bit deeper. They come into the midfield a little bit more. And they pass the ball a little bit more. Trying to feed Mooney the ball from deeper positions. And that is what Carl McFarlane is doing in this role. He's got 15 vision. He can pick out a pass if he's not exactly great at it. But if the pass comes off, he's going to put it in a good area. And Mooney is going to be able to dispatch that. He also likes to run with the ball through centre, and he's got dreadful finishing, but dribbling, but we're not telling him to dribble too much. Yeah, great off the ball. I think this is probably the better role for him over something like the pressing forward that we had him on, so I'm going to try him a deep line forward for a few games. It's worked so far. We'll see how it gets on now. Also, we've changed our wing-backs to do something a little bit extra. We are now telling them to cross from deep, and we are no longer telling them to stay wide. And we're also telling them to dribble less. I don't want them to get exposed as much. I don't want them to get caught up here in a bad area and then us get counter-attacked and concede a goal. I'd rather them do the simple things, and we rely on that. Also, we had a couple of little injuries and it forced my hand. First one being is Max Saunders is out. He's out for about 3 to 6 weeks. It's me. Paul Scott is now our advanced playmaker. He's so much better than Ben, and I can't not play him, despite being a loanee, and I don't really want to play the loanees as, all the games, but I have to. And Lake is in the right hand side of midfield over Marich in this centre mid role because he can tackle a ball and his physicals are better than Marich, and I didn't think I'd find someone who had better physicals than Marich, but he has. So yeah, he is now our first teamer when it comes to this right hand side in midfield. We need to try and get them to link up chemistry wise, and then they'll play even better. Other than that, no real changes at all. A couple of little injuries and little knocks. Roper, of course, last episode went out on loan, and I think it'll suit him better, as Sahara's finally back from injury for the first time, and whoever knows, because he just gets injured all the time. Jack Scott is now made it onto the bench for this QPR game, so let's get to the game, and let's get to the action of this episode. We're up against QPR, one of the bigger sides in this league, who are 6th in the division. After that, I'm going to play Bursted off screen. I'm not going to show that on screen because I feel like I might get battered, and I don't particularly want to watch my team get battered while commentating on it, because I get a little bit salty, and salty commentary is not fun commentary, in my opinion. So that we're playing QPR, and they're a massive side, so who knows, I might get battered in this one. Before we get into the game, I want to just explain why I made a couple of the changes to my team, and a couple of other extra changes I forgot to mention. Baines is no longer a ball-playing defender. He is now a central defender on defend. That means he's going to be spraying less long balls, trying to keep it a little bit shorter, a little bit simpler, and we're also using tighter marking, which will hopefully try and nullify any set pieces that we have up against us. So, if you're struggling, you have a bad run of form, one of the things you look at is your recent matches analysis. This is what I went into. It brings up this screen, and this screen shows you some analytical data when it comes to your last 5 matches, and you can use this data and you can look at it and see what the thoughts are, and the game will recommend you a few things as well. So it's recommending at the moment that we should add shoot on site, because that'll mean we'll shoot when we get an opportunity. We won't we'll be less patient about it. We won't try and force the perfect opportunity. We won't play like an Arsenal or a Barcelona. We'll just shoot when there's a good opportunity. That is something maybe we consider per game, depending on how we're playing and depending on how the possession's going and how many clear-cut opportunities we're creating. Of late, we've been creating plenty of clear-cut opportunities, just not dispatching them. So I think we're going to leave that one alone, because the boys are playing well enough when it comes to creativity. Weak influence is going to tell me that Ben has not particularly been very good when it comes to his playmaking efforts. That is the main reason why he is no longer playing as our first team attacking midfielder. He's just past it. He's a little bit out of his depth at this level. We've scored 2 for our 50 attempts inside the area. That is a little bit concerning, meaning our strikers should be maybe a little bit more patient, a little bit more calm. That may be something to do with our composure of our strikers, not anything to do with our tactic. Lost possession. Jacob Kington has lost the possession more than any other player on the pitch, so we know that we should be telling him to do something else, because he's given the ball away too easily, and that is a bad thing. We can also look at final third entries. A lot of them are coming from, so 140 of the 303 occasions have come from central positions, so we know our midfield is not closing down players. And we are in League One up against better midfielders, so the better midfielders can pass the ball better as well. And we've lost possession in our own defensive third in a central location. Originally, it had Baines as a take Baines off ball playing defender. That is what we've done. We're not going to remove play out of the defence quite yet. We may do that in the future as well. We have got a couple of positives, meaning that we're not conceding any silly opportunities and restricting people to, the goals we concede are actually good analytical stats, really. So we haven't been playing bad in some aspects, so there is plenty to look into. Now, let's jump actually into the game and get on with the action of this episode. We have to give a squad number to Jackie Boy. You have 24, son. We are the underdogs here, so let's go cause an upset. That's a concern. I don't particularly like to see that. We haven't seen that in any real team talks of any other division we've been in yet. It's always been like, yeah, we can have a go at this. Now it's like, you're up against a serious side. Maybe you want to be defensive. We're on positive at the moment. That might not be the best idea, so just drop that to balanced, just so our team doesn't lose their defensive shape quite as much. We are telling our wing-backs to be a little bit more structured and not go wandering quite as much, so we're going to try and rely on McFarlane. There's an early chance of Mooney. Oh, what double save that is! Oh my giddy aunt. McFarlane, you should have scored there, though, if I'm honest. Like, you had a lot of the goal to aim at. You've made the keeper look good. Ah, that is gutting. Morgan with a corner in for the QPR. Don't concede straight away after that. That would be brutal. Yeah, instead of using our wing-backs to create from wide, we're going to use Carl McFarlane's movement off the ball to try and create a little bit something instead, and then hopefully use Scott's long ball abilities from centre mid to pick out some great passes. Here at McFarlane, see that's how much deeper he is going to drop. It means Moody's a little bit more isolated, but if we can find Moody a one-on-one opportunities, we know we can do good. He didn't exactly cover himself in glory there, but that is the kind of thing we are trying to create. Bring McFarlane into that more of a deeper role and allow him to pick up the ball in the half turn and cause some damage and cause some danger. As Smith has a good attack, that's a decent little cross. Morgan's going to keep that alive for QPR. Box in, Chair, all the way across, good block. Coyle hooks it away. Moody, that's just pathetic, he didn't even go for it. Now it's Smith again, out wide to Morgan, who's gone round the outside of Davis quite easily. Davis, oh dear. Smith, oh go on son, drive Smith, drive. Now release the ball to someone. McFarlane, oh it's a good tackle but it's gone for a corner. Oh no, it's actually a free kick for McFarlane's offside. You utter donut. I might look at opposition instructions after this highlight. Smith to Baines. Well, Scott should I say, not Smith. Giles. Now to Oliver. Giles, who picked up his first clean sheet for the club last game out. We want some more of that. Here's Coyle. To Davis. Good football so far. Now Lake. Coyle. Scott. Go on, Scotty, son. Now Lake. Now Davis again. It's getting quite deep. It's getting far forward. Mooney. Little ball across. Scott. He's found bottom corner. That's a lovely little finish from the young centre mid. Kingsley Mooney gets his first assist of the season. Scott gets his first goal of the season. We're 1-0 up here away at QPR. I hate QPR for some reason. I don't know why. It's just something about watching 90s Premier League football, really. I'd never liked QPR. I never have and I never will like QPR, so I do like beating them. I don't like losing any game, but QPR, Blackburn and Bolton, I really don't like any of them clubs. If you're a fan of them club, I'm sorry, I just don't like it. McFarlane, good little touch. Oh, now it's out to Davis. Playing some good football here, boys, I like it. Oh, that's a scruffy ball to Lake. Oh, he has a smash near post. Keeper gets hold of that. He could have probably let that go out easier, but he holds it instead. Drops it and kicks it long. Bring that down. Lovely little touch, Baines. Well done. Now Kington. Baines. To Cabby. That's a long lump of a ball straight down the centre of the pitch, Cabby. I don't really want you to be doing that. Out's the ball. Out wide to the right-hand side for Samuel. To drive up against us. Kington loses out on the tackle. That's the ball in. Oh, they smashed it in near post, but he's offside. Get in, Lino. Right, let's shout. Demand more. Whatever that means, just demand it. Can you imagine that, just being at work, and someone comes in, more! More of what? Just more! Alright. Okay, I'll do something, just so you shut up, really. It's just mental, really. Baines. Actually get to commentating on football and not my weird brain going off on a tangent as it does. Davis, lump it down the line, just let Moody chase it, I don't care. Coyle. Oliver. We're going backward, boys. It's nice, like keeping the ball, but their goal is to the right. Like, we should be going the other direction. Guards with a lump forward. Good McFarlane dropping into space to pick up the ball there. I like that a lot. Now Kington. Drops it to Scott. Back to McFarlane. Now it's back to Kington. Ball into the box towards Mooney. Oh, it's a decent little volley has tipped around the post. I like that. That was alright. Good football, that. McFarlane dropping into holes has really helped us out when it goes forward. Ball into the box towards McFarlane. Cabby! Oh, it's a pinball in there. Get there. Don't let... Oh, great tackle, Coyle. That's worth a yellow card. That's a quality yellow card. Don't let him counter-attack. Dirty scouse bastard. Love it. That's a proper, like, that's a captain's tackle, that, really. That's a leadership tackle. You don't let him counter-attack. You take the yellow card. You bring him down. Love it. Davis. Back to Davis again, though. Here's Lake. Davis. Do something with the ball. Now Scott. Back to Coyle. Oh, nice little back of the... Oh, little side of the foot. Little pass around the corner. I like that, Coyle. Show it off. Crunch someone. Then you can throw out a little fancy pass. I like it. That's a really poor goal kick. And here's Mooney with the ball inside the box. Ball into the box to McFarlane. That's a poor header over the crossbar. Something I have noticed, a lot of headers in this game go over the crossbar. Has anyone found any player who can actually header the ball well? If they can, I haven't bought a target man. I should buy a target man to see if they can actually header a football not over the crossbar, I suppose. This is more encouraging to watch. Like a little tweak to the tactic. It's like the game understood our tactic and it started to break it down and like nullify it, but now we've made a couple of little tweaks. It's now fresh to the game and the game's engine has now got to learn to battle against it. That or QPR are shit and we're outplaying them and they're not very good. So Davis isn't having the greatest of games. He's had the ball a lot, but he's not having the greatest of games, so we might have a little look at that. So we just looked at Coyle. Liam Coyle? Where's Liam Coyle play? Oh, he's the central defensive midfielder, isn't he? Yeah, Leon Davis not having the greatest of game, but I've seen him have the ball most of the time. That's interesting. I'm really happy with that. Praise them. Get in there, son. Only one of them reacted. Kingdom was like, yeah, that'll do, I suppose. You're on a yellow card. That does concern me, and I could bring on Ben in that role. Ben's not exactly ideal, but he doesn't have a yellow card next to his name. He can't particularly he's not a tackler. I am going to tell you to stop tackling. Ease off tackles. Don't want you diving in. And you, Mr. Friend, what are you doing with the balls? Can you be a little bit less risky with it? And also I noticed Cabby is giving the ball away a little bit too much. So you can take some fewer risks as well. And just pass the ball a little bit shorter, son. We go back into team talk. We will select Leon Davis. No, Liam Coyle, should I say. And I'm going to calmly tell you, you're on a yellow card, so don't go and get yourself booked again. Because if you do that, you're then sent off, and that's going to be a concern. Because then we're going to have a big old hole in our midfield that we'll have to replace. And McFarlane has been very, very good today in that little hole. Just dropping into that number 10 role, so sitting in between the gap between the two central midfielders and the two centre-backs. And that's allowing Mooney to have good runs in behind the defence that McFarlane can spot and play the ball for. And that's forcing their defence further and further back. And by pushing their defence further and further back, it's allowing our midfield to have more and more space. That is allowing us to have more and more of the ball. That means we can control the flow of the match, which is giving us more and more confidence and more control. That's a long lump ball by Baines. It's going nowhere. Here is Samuel on the right-hand side. Don't particularly want to concede in here. That is a great run. Oh, it's a great run. Giles! Oh, it's all over the place and Giles has got the ball. What was that? He just blasted past Kingdom with utter pace and dominance. I'm going to pause it. Where's pause? Match. Oh, there's a highlight going on. Let's watch the highlight. Davis. Oliver. I should do a tactical change. It's a long ball. Lake. Mooney! Oh, it's in the crossbar. Oh, what an effort by Mooney. Right. Opposition. Instructions. What are we doing when it comes to this guy? Because he is rapid. And he just burnt, 17 acceleration, 17 pace. If you don't know, these stats, they go up to 20. 20 is the maximum. 20 is the best stat possible in that role. So to have 17 means he's rapid, which means we should not be marking him tight, because you don't want to get tight to him. He'll just spin and annihilate you. And you probably, do you have a bad weak foot? Like, are you one-footed? You're right-footed. And that's probably about it. We might just chop him, to be honest. We might just kick him hard and hope he doesn't care about that. There's no point in kicking you hard. He's got lots and lots of bravery. Same for you. If you've got bravery over 10, I don't particularly care about kicking you. It's not going to deter you at all. You've got 16 bravery, so you're not going to need to be tackled either hard. If you're trying to hit someone hard, you're just trying to scare them out of the game a little bit. If they've got a low bravery stat, you can do it, and they can go within themselves a little bit, get a little bit anxious or a little bit nervous, and then you can control the midfield battle a little bit more. So far, though, nothing to really report apart from a right wing back who is not playing the best of games stats-wise or rating-wise, but he has had a lot of the football when we've seen the highlights, which is interesting. Let's make a little sub, I think. Let's make a little sub. Let's bring Nathan Dyer on for Leon Davis, just to change that right-hand side of midfield. And I am going to take, despite him not getting himself sent off yet, I'm going to bring Ben on because I really don't want him to get sent off. And we could could, if I'm thinking about it, swap Lake. Oh, Lake's got a yellow card as well now. Lake, don't go and get yourself sent off. That'll be really bad. Do we have any centre woods on the bench? We have had our Marriage on the bench. We could bring Marriage on. Maybe something we do in about the 70th minute mark. I'm going to shout demand more, because that is the only shout that I actually know works. Yeah, we've got some sort of reaction from it, a little bit more focused up. And Oliver has the ball nice and deep. Now Dyer. Back to Oliver. Simple little football so far. Back to Giles. Cabby. Oliver. This is very slow. That's a long ball towards Mooney. He's not going to win that header at all. Oliver wins that header though. That's to Lake. Back to Oliver. Now back to Giles. Can we not play long balls? Can you try and pick out someone in midfield who can then pick a pass? There we go. Ben, Lake. Now a big switch over to Kington. That's better football. Now Kington's beating his fullback. And he's had a little go. Oh, that's a poor effort really, Kington. That is better football though. You pinged the ball in around the midfield. You made a little diamond. And then you popped the ball out the other wing. And made the one-on-one chance for Kington to dominate using his good strength. He's not particularly fast, but he is nice and strong. Good tackle by Scott. And that's a lump forward over the top. Mooney is away. Mooney, can he score? No, it's another great save by the goalkeeper. That's really frustrating, that is, Mooney. Because you could have probably killed the game off there. Corner in, though. Kington. Ball into the box. Hall heads away. Cabby will keep it alive. Now Lake. Back to Scott. Good switch out to Kington. Can he keep it in? No. Scott overhit the pass ever so slightly, which is a shame. Scott is having a 9 rating though. Out of 10, that's pretty good. That's very good actually. We will take that all day long. Chair. Will he sit on it? No. 2T. Baines with a header away. Oh, what a volley that is. What a name that is as well. Connor Shaughnessy? Shaughnessy. Shaughnessy. Shaughnessy, isn't it? Shaughnessy? Oh, I don't know. But that is a stunning, stunning volley. Oh, he's absolutely creamed it, and Giles could only get a hand to it. And we are now back to 19th in the division, which is not great. Oh, we've gone up, actually. We're out of the relegation zone. That's all you have to remember. We are out of the relegation zone, which means we're not going down. Well, I'd say we're not going down. We've only played, 7 games, so we might go down. Hopefully not, though. And with 5 more minutes on the clock, I think it's time to make one more sub. And I think it's going to be... Do we take the yellow carded guy off, or do we bring the youngster on up top? I'm going to take the yellow carded guy off. Bring Avermedia on. I'm just going to drop him to centre mid defend, just because we don't particularly care about this anymore. I want to try and slow the game down. Start wasting some time, be more disciplined, lower the tempo, stop passing out of defence, and that should be good. Just trying to secure this 1-1 draw against a good 6th in the league QPR side, and we have played well, so there's plenty of positives to take out of this game, and I'm sure it will give us more analytical data to analyse as well, which is always interesting to see, and then we can see what things we may want to tweak in the future. This tactic is better. Now it has had a couple of little changes, but you can always improve. You can always have a little tinker. So we shall see. Final dying embers of this game. Hopefully we don't concede the last kick of the game. Or score would be great. No, that is the end of that. I'm going to shout to the boys. Well freaking done, boys. We're happy with that. You proved everything wrong getting a result. I'm happy with a draw. And you, Mr. Scotty son, praise you. You are passionately wonderful. That was some great improvement out there, son. And we are happy with that. Well, I'm going to call that an episode. And I am actually going to go away for a couple of games and come back some other time. I think we will just come back for the game that we were probably going to pick out anyway, which is probably in and around... We'll come back for Salford, because I don't mind Salford as a football club. So come back for Salford and Carlisle. So I will catch you then. Thank you very much for watching. I have been TW1. Like, subscribe and all that for the jazzle. And as always guys, peace out.